Dr. Anderson, welcome back. I love that line. And the new answer, it says, it ends tonight. Okay.
So we're waiting for his response. It ends today.
What your response be? You've seen the movie, of course, The Matrix.
No.
He's actually looking like me. You're just giving glasses. Where's your eyeglass?
I thought you wanted to pull my legs. Okay, on the show today we have Dr. Anderson. Welcome to the show, sir. It's great having you on the show. There's a lot we have to talk about now. There's a lot I understand, but then every time we talk about digitization and social media interaction on talking about TV, there's always something to learn at every time. So now, but I want us to go into the nitty-gritty. Let's break it down. What do we mean when we say digitalization in television?
Okay. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
It's great to be with you guys.
Right.
I guess one of the things we need to ask ourselves now is that where is TV going? Okay, and what do audiences expect from a dominant traditional media channel that has been there almost forever? Okay, so and what all those new technologies have ended up doing for TV is that it's made TV go through a transition where instead of us focusing on that tube alone, we're able to bring many connected experiences across many screens. So the TV on its own is just one screen, isn't it? But there are many more screens people are looking at.
Yeah,
you're looking at, now you're looking at a tablet.
Yes.
I'm looking at a smartphone. Some others are looking at all sorts. People are doing things with mobile apps, other people are doing things on social media, but at the end of the day, what it has done is that you're now having pockets of audiences scattered everywhere. Okay, and the essence of everything that, that TV now seeks to try to do and reinvent itself is how do we bring all these audiences together as one, and how do we allow them experience that which we are creating, like this exciting show? How do we get all the audiences together? That irrespective of what screen they have access to, they can still engage with us. Okay, and a few minutes ago, you were looking at Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, someone else was checking out maybe their tweets relating to this show. So it's all those things coming together that's the new face of TV, and that's what's exciting right now.
All right. So
Okay, so we're looking at, before
we go on, don't forget that the phone lines are open. You can call into the show and speak with Dr. Anderson in person. The numbers to call are 080-91222283, 080-91222284, 080-91222285, 080-91222286, 08140000283, 08140000284. And it's not just a call-in session. You can actually tweet your questions on our RTTV Twitter page, R2_TV. On Facebook, you ask a question anywhere, and we will clap back according to Becca Lee. We'll clap back. So, let the show begin officially.
Okay, now, before you came on the show, sir, you sent out some questions there, and you made mention about traditional media being phased out. And some people were averse. They said, no, that won't happen. What's your take on traditional media being phased out?
I don't think traditional media will be phased out. I think it's a myth, and let's get that away. It's not about this or that. It's not about what is better. It's about inclusiveness.
Okay.
So it's saying, yes, TV has been there all this while. What can TV take from what's new? And how can TV optimize what it has, the value it has? So I'll give you an example. Let's use this show again. This show has a creation process that started before we came here. This is now during the show, and there's an after-show part. At any point in time, you can bring the audience into this. Previously, TV was just one way, isn't it? We spoke out, the audience received it. Later on, telephone came, they could call in, isn't it? But now, with social media, what happens is that the audience can interrupt us in real time. So if we actually want to take a tweet that someone is putting out right now on this show, we can. So at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's not about one media. It's about what does the user have access to per time. So even though I love TV, maybe at this particular point in time, I'm at work, we're at a meeting somewhere. How am I going to live stream this show, even if I wanted to? I can't. But is it possible I can steal a few seconds from my meeting and send a tweet? It's possible. And can I, after the show, can I catch up with a rerun of the show? Can I go to your website and I'm able to catch up with an episode I love so much but I missed? Okay. That's essentially what the concept of inclusive media is. Oh. And that introduces us to the topic or the concept called television everywhere.
Oh,
and television everywhere is saying that the audience should have the right to select what they have access to per time in terms of the channel, and then access the same kind of content to the extent to which the channel allows them to. So let me give you an example. Let's say we've done with this show. It's possible that in the next 48 hours, a user may want to see this episode.
All right.
On most TV stations, you may not be able to see that because they would have had to have built the structure that allows that. But what we've been able to achieve here, at least at RTTV, is that in the next 48 hours or so, you'll be able to catch up with this show. Okay, and then you can watch the full length of it if you want. If you don't want to do that, you could have participated live during the show in different forms. You could call in, you could tweet, you could leave a Facebook post, you could leave something on Instagram, or even do something on Google+. Okay. You could live stream on our mobile apps across all the various stores that are available. So there are all sorts. It's about inclusiveness, and that's the key. So I'm not an advocate of one media will die and supersede the other. There's always been new media, so there will always be something new. And that new must align with what's old, and gradually the audience will decide what formats and what interface they want to be. And that's what should drive what businesses do generally.
All right, but even if they live side by side, one will still take over the other. So do you think social media is taking over the traditional media television?
I still don't agree.
Okay.
It's not about taking over. It's about saying what aspects of which complements what of the other.
So that's what social media.
Yes.
It has its own place in the whole.
So before
equation.
we came in now, I put up a question about. There was an argument between a couple of guys, one a Kenyan broadcaster and one a Nigerian a journalist who also teaches in one of the media schools in Lagos. And they were arguing about media convergence and several other things like that. The beautiful thing about it is that they are not watching this show live, but the argument is on Twitter.
Okay.
Okay? So, but that argument has given me some food for thought that is making me contribute even more during this live show. So are you saying that are you saying their contribution is better than what we are having here?
No.
I wouldn't say that. I'm saying that my experiences across what they've done and here, it all comes together.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not for one media would.
All right,
Whatever will happen would happen.
Okay.
But let's enjoy the experiences. Let's build a connected media world where, irrespective of the channel people have access to, they can get the best out of what we're trying to do.
Okay, I know you've mentioned it earlier, but what are the main impacts of social media on television? Like, outstanding.
Several things. One, it has increased the reach, tremendously.
Okay.
And that's one. Again, just think about it this way. Typically, we are on satellite, but we are only restricted to those who probably have access to maybe that satellite service. But what social media has done again is that because of all of these new technologies, we can live stream, isn't it?
Yes.
And live stream to a wider audience who have access to the internet, and that there's more people that have access to the internet than satellite. Okay, let's even go beyond that. If we decide to put up a tweet and decide to ask people to share with us or comment on something, what happens is that you've introduced a whole new world of people, into that conversation, who may never watch the show real time, but they are part of that conversation. And so the reach is tremendous, it's exponential. That's one. Two, content becomes more robust and more useful. Because what has happened is that typically instead of the three of us creating content that we think is useful for the audience out there, the audience can be part of that co-creation process. And that's what's interesting, because people are creating the content they think are useful. And other people find other people's comments and other people's contributions very helpful. So we've created a world where there's a lot of multi-user interface. And that's what social media has given us. So it's created a better connected experience. It's expanded the reach. Content is better. So it deepens the user experience across what we are trying to do.
Okay, how can we, now looking at social media, I'm thinking vis-a-vis feedback, that's the way that they can influence what they see. Now looking at social media and feedback, how do we act upon feedback that we get from people to improve what we're doing on any TV station that's coming up on social media?
First thing is, are we willing to honestly and candidly take their feedback? If we are willing to, there's more than enough ingredients to help us. So for example, someone can say, it's possible that over a 13-episode program in a quarter, we've decided these are the, let's use a men's show, like
Men's Team Off.
Men's Team Off.
Yes.
We may have decided that next week we are talking about cohabiting, okay? Should couples move in together before they are married?
Yeah.
But the audience, there may be something that the audience may want us to talk about. Now, are we giving them the right to even select and help us decide what we will talk about? So those are the kind of things that social media can help us do. We could sit ourselves with our committee of wise men and come up with our 13 topics. But we would throw those topics to the audience and ask them, look, do you think we should talk about these 13 topics? What else do you think we should talk about? Okay, what's the order in which we should talk about it? Should we talk about what we've put out as the last topic? Could it be the first topic they want to be? Or they're not even interested in any of those topics.
All right.
So that's the process they allow us, but are we willing to take their feedback honestly and rejig our system and our processes to be able to give them what they want?
All right. Doctor,
Yes.
for those that do not understand, maybe the layman who's television everywhere, can you explain to the very open-minded or people that really don't understand, what does television everywhere imply? What does it mean?
Okay. Let me use a simple analogy. If you wake up in the morning, what are you likely to have access to?
Your phone.
Your phone, okay? Right now, let's say if you're in the office, what are you likely to have access to?
Your laptop or your system.
Okay.
Personal
But if you are
system.
sitting in a coffee room waiting to go into an office, what are you likely to be seeing?
A television.
A television. Now, at different points in time, you're exposed to different screens, different media. It's also possible that maybe during your coffee break or during your lunch break, someone is holding a newspaper beside you. You see, there's a mix of traditional, new media, all sorts here and there.
Exactly.
So what television everywhere is saying is that we cannot predict what the user will have access to per time.
Okay.
But what we must do is that we must create we've created content and we are creating an experience for the user. But we must enable the user have access to what we are doing, using the devices and using the channels they have access to per time.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. So let's say this show. My options are, we could watch this show live on TV. So let's say I have no access to satellite. I won't be able to watch it on TV, isn't it? The other option for me is that, can I stream this live, maybe on my phone? Yes, you can. And so that's one of the things I do. Last week I was in Ghana and I was streaming this show live on our R2TV streaming app. Okay, so television everywhere allows us to, yes, there's conventional TV, but there's an app that anyone can connect to and stream in real time. If you can't do that, you can also go to our website where all episodes of every show we've done will be there for as long. So this is life.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yes, exactly. So we had to say, now looking at this app exactly now,
Yes.
you said it's a live streaming app. Can we say, because a number of people, I spoke to them and they were like, okay, they were not able to access maybe the decoder platform which we're on and all that. Can we say that the future is more phone-based when it comes to the app than, let's say, a traditional TV screen?
It's about access. What do most people have access to?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
the phone.
telephones.
Simple. So
Definitely the phone.
if I'm an investor, I'll be interested in pushing things to what people have access. I want the most people to have access to what I'm producing, whether it's a product or service. Okay? Bill Gates had a vision that one day there will be a computer on every desk. Steve Jobs had a different vision. That one day there will be a phone in every pocket. So which one do you want? You want the desktop, you want the system on every desk, or you want the phone in every pocket? I don't know what will come tomorrow, but ours is that we want the greatest amount of users to be able to access us per time. So whether it's on our website, whether it's on our YouTube channel, whether it's streaming with us, whether watching us on TV, whether joining us across our various social media platforms, We don't want to know. Let's just create that experience for them and enable them to come in so that we can have a larger and deeper and meaningful experience for the user.
And sir, the concept of television everywhere, it's easier in the Western world or outside Nigeria where the means of getting data and Wi-Fi, everything is free. But here, a lot of people have complaints. Like some time ago, I was talking to someone and she kept complaining about her megabytes. She would rather maybe listen to the radio or something. So is there any way that this medium can be free so people can access it without expending so much or without worrying about, I'll have to bleed through my nose before I can see this particular program? Nah, I'd rather just sit back. So how is the progress of this particular system, television everywhere? How is it in Africa, basically?
Well, you know, the biggest problem here is cost of bandwidth in Africa, but that's an infrastructure challenge.
Okay.
But I say that that's not a problem because people find access to content they want to access. If they love content, people would find a way to pay for it or find a way to be where they have access. Some offices have Wi-Fi, don't they?
Some offices.
Yes. I know a lot of people watch YouTube videos of all sorts. We're not asking people to watch R2 TV every second, every day. They probably love a particular show, isn't it? Yes. So go find that show, find it sometime when it's convenient for you, connect with it, and take what you want per time. And you don't always have to look at the TV. Catch up with us on social media, okay? Do things with our app. And our apps are so light, so they don't consume a lot. No, but the point is, we will not wait until broadband is like the expressway.
Okay.
All right.
We've created this, we have lovely content, which we've created. While waiting for the infrastructure challenge to be dealt with, we would create all the channels for the users to access us. And gradually, those that love the kind of content that we turn out, will find access to them. I'm able to connect I'm able to connect wherever I am. Not everybody may. But again, is our service really for everyone?
No.
It's not. Not everyone will use the internet even if it was free. Yes, for whatever reason. So for those who want to, I guess we started on a journey. We can only go one up and better.
But before the access to free broadband, is there any hope of the television media being like radio, where you can access it anyhow? You don't have to pay to a particular company to get this connection. It's free for all.
Is radio really free for all? You find radios in your cars.
Yes.
It's free.
Yes.
But if it's on your phone, you pay for that phone.
Yeah.
Except you downloaded the software. And if you downloaded the software on your phone, like TuneIn Radio, you probably are paid for that phone, and you are paying for a network connectivity. Yes, so either way, there's a connectivity issue somewhere.
All right.
Social media interaction, sir. I've seen where now we have concepts of where shows are happening live, and then people are, when you send out tweets in real time, and then people respond. How important are those kind of interactions? Because like, okay, I might be saying something now, and then someone picks up a statement, what I said, and puts it out on social media, and then discussion continues. How important is interaction like that with the end consumers?
I think it's very important. I'm sure that people are tired of hearing our voices right now. Yes. So it's possible someone has a more witty contribution. It's possible someone spots something and decides to share it, and that becomes that's what trends. What do we really want? Do we want to be viral? If we want everyone to start talking about this show, and there's someone that can help us out there do it, why don't we get that person?
All right.
Simple.
All right.
So it makes all the sense to find the right people, to give them a platform and let them engage with us and take it up. Today I started just a single tweet. It generated almost 50 reactions in no time.
And all of that.
So imagine if I didn't do that, I would have lost that value.
Exactly.
So across all the various interactions we can have millions of interactions that are driven by the users, that if we've not enabled them, we'll not have as many.
All right.
Okay.
So more interactions with your users means that they spend more time with your platform. They spend more time with your platform means their friends see it. Their friends see it means your network grows. That becomes brand equity for you. So it's the way to go.
Taking it back to you talking about people choosing what they want to watch, would that not affect the stable programming of the television media?
No, it doesn't.
If people keep bringing up ideas and all that, they want this, they want that, and it will just phase out the original, maybe the original vision of that media.
I don't think so. Look at all this talk. Look at all these shows. What do you call them now? All those reality shows where talent hunts and the rest. Where sometimes at a particular stage they ask the audience to vote. Okay, the audience may vote, and that may take 50% of the criteria, and the other 50% may be the judges. So yes, we can allow the audience come in, but we have to be prepared long before. So if we are preparing for another quarter, we probably could have gotten the audience to contribute into our preparations months or weeks before then, and that's what informs what we are doing. But if we are starting it at that point where we're about to go live, then we'll probably miss it. So it's about preparation.
Okay.
And then, okay, now, generally now, looking at it looking forward, the next few years down the line, how far do you think, what do you think is the next stage after this? Where do you think television can go after? Because definitely at times when people had already thought about this era before, and then those at the forefront of this or of this idea now took it up, and then the others are following. Now we are leading in this field, because now only very few stations I can say now have apps like us. But then looking at the future, the next few years down the line, where do we see this going to? How far can this go?
I'll talk about two things. I'll talk about media convergence. I'll talk about participation.
Okay.
And I'm talking about them because those were the very two topics that the audience I engaged with this morning before coming here shared with me. And let me explain. Yes, we have the channel, so what? We are streaming, so what? We have apps, so what? You could have presence. You could have presence without effectiveness. So how do we ensure that we increase, for example, the number of people who use our streaming app? How do we increase them 100-fold, let's say, in the next 1 month?
Okay.
So we've created all these channels. How do we deepen engagement? So the biggest challenge will be ensuring utilization of those platforms effectively. Will be about participation. And what do I mean by participation? It's possible that we would announce that Dr. Anderson is coming here, and we'll share a couple of things that happened here, and that's all. That's not participation. Okay? Let me give you what Coca-Cola did in one of these Eastern European countries. I guess that was last week or so. They put out a particular tweet. There was a TV commercial running. Okay? It was running, and then they put out a tweet that says, invite someone. Okay? Tweets at someone, inviting the person to share a Coke with you in your house. But tweets.
Okay.
And whatever you shared in real time, you know that they were able to share it on that ad spot.
Wow.
Okay. Excellent.
So real time on Twitter, they synchronized that. It ran on that ad spot that probably was running for 2 minutes. Wow. And they flashed that invitation that was on Twitter on the ad spot there. And it was a commercial running.
Wow.
So that level of integration, that level of participation is where brands must go. So saying that we have all of these channels, it's presence, it's not profits. And until we get people not to come once, but to come 100 times repeatedly, either through any of our channels or all of them, we are not there yet. And that's the challenge. The challenge is that how do we drive convergence deeper between all our channels, so that irrespective of where our users are moving to, if they start with us on our streaming app, if they move to our Facebook page, if they move to Twitter, or if they end up on TV, everything is synchronized together and it works. Okay? And then, if they eventually begin to participate, how do we ensure that even for people who participate, that they are recognized and they are rewarded? And reward for people online is about recognition. It's about saying, exactly. Oh, we saw your contribution, we saw this, thank you for this. How do we do that? It's all those things coming together that will drive the next growth.
Next growth. All right. Thank you very much. We've had a wonderful time and expose on digital media, participation and all of that, television everywhere. It's been a whole number of terms being flown out, but it's been a great time with you on the show. Thank you very much, Dr. Anderson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the show. Do you have, would you want to give out your social media handles? Would you want?
Well, Uvie-Emegbo is my name, and so at Uvie-Emegbo.
Oh, okay. Spell Emegbo.
ANDYEMEGBO.
All right.
And then
So if you do that,
If you do
that's
that,
yes,
you
you
get
put
to-
it on Google, you find all the other
All
things.
the other things,
right.
exactly. All right. Thank you.
Easy.
It's been a great show today. We've had a digital media consultant on the show.
Yeah.
We've been learning so
Our
much.
brains are smoking hot.
All right, and that's the show on R2TV today. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to my lovely sister. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday to you. And also to my friend Uyi, his birthday wasn't Saturday. Hey.
And to my boo-boo, yesterday, his birthday was yesterday, so.
All right.
Duh.
So that's it. It's been a great show. See you tomorrow. It's good to say see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Otua, 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 Otua. Ah, yeah. Hey, Otua, Otua. Anakuku, aneme, oh. Okay, me, I need you go. Ha, I not go to Kengo. Mother, Otua. Ha, Imapana man, no bukabolas. Solo kind of doggers, content I'm gonna overs. What I'm lazy but wait, that's my fantasy. Why you want chance? I did the money and the chief dance. Ha, only you want and no chance. My car you want to buy you one chance. Okay, man, I need to go.